I've been playing quite a lot of video games the last 2 months. I went from playing no video games, except maybe Brawl Stars and chess at school, all the way from February to December of last year, to now probably have played 30 hours of a game called Europa Universalis, 30 hours of Stardew Valley, and 10 hours of Borderlands with my family in the last 2 months. Now, I don't super care about those 10 hours I played with my family, because I'm playing with my family. But I've played 60 hours of video games in the last 2 months, after maybe putting in 10 hours in the last 10 months. And when I tell you I haven't ever felt this guilty, I mean it. The amount of times that I've had a sick stomach from playing 3 hours of video games straight, it's too many to count on my hands. And that's an interesting story that goes pretty far back. I was always a gamer, never on the trendy games. Like I played Fortnite 5 years after it was popular, played Among Us a year after it became popular, and never really played Valorant when it was popular. But I have 800 hours in Terraria, 500 in Europa Universalis, 200 in Risk and Stardew Valley, 100 in Rocket League, and probably 1,000 hours sprinkled between other games. Oh, and that's not including my 800 hours plus in Minecraft. I never really saw anything wrong with this. I'm sure you share this as well. Once in a while, I think, maybe it's not good that I'm playing 5+ hours of video games per day. But then I tell myself, you're just socializing with your friends. You're creating a connection. It's not that big of a deal. Well, this changed around 1.5 years ago. It was all because I decided that I actually wanted to create a successful YouTube channel. I've always been interested in making YouTube videos. I've been posting videos with the intent of being successful since I was 12 years old. They definitely weren't great.
No! Christ is gonna get our base. No!
Once I made it clear in my head that my goal was to create a successful YouTube channel, I began reevaluating everything in my life. I rethought how I spend my time with my family, reevaluated my time spent on YouTube, reevaluated my time laying in bed and sleeping. All this reevaluation brought me to video games. I never really thought about how video games affect my life more than just the quick thought about if I was wasting time. But after thinking through it, I realized that this time playing video games didn't really give me a whole lot. I'd always say that I was socializing with friends and having a good time, but I never really remembered any of this stuff. Always remembered that if I just went to my friend's house and just walked around the neighborhood, or if I went to a jump park with them, or if I went to an amusement park, that was always more fun and memorable. I already hadn't played a game for probably a week at this point, because there just wasn't really anything I wanted to play. I have quite an addictive personality, so when I would find a video game that I liked, I would log in 30 hours in 1 week, then not touch a game for multiple months. So I just told myself that I wasn't going to spend any more time playing video games. I was instead going to spend that time working on my YouTube channel, learning about my YouTube channel, spending time out of the house with my friends or family, or just literally doing nothing. I realized that when I was just walking around my backyard late at night, or just laying down in bed, that's when a lot of my eureka moments happened. Or I'd figure out what I need to do different, or what my next big thing was gonna be. So I saw that as a better use of time than video games. I got a lot of pushback from this. Of course, from my friends who didn't like that I was missing out on all the Minecraft parties that we were doing at the time. But weirdly enough, especially my mother, she would keep telling me things like, Dylan, why can't you just be a kid? Why are you so focused on trying to be productive, trying to be healthy, trying to get stuff done? Back when I was a kid, the only thing that I cared about was trying to get a boyfriend or having fun. I always found that kind of weird. But later on, as I thought about it, I see where she was coming from. I didn't completely remove video games. Once every week for about 3 months, I would log on to my computer and either log a couple hours in Europa Universalis or join up for a Minecraft party. This was acceptable for me because I was being so much more productive than I usually was, and this was almost like a reward for everything I had accomplished in the past week, especially when all my peers around me were just playing video games non-stop. However, during the Thanksgiving break of 2022, I started to play a lot more video games. I would play at least 4 hours of video games every single day that I had a day off, and probably around 2 hours a day on school days preceding that. During this time, I was uploading a video once every 3 weeks. Sometimes I do that now, and it's not great, but usually these delays are from sickness or reflecting on where I'm going with the channel. Back then, I wouldn't post for 3 weeks, and then I would follow up with a post that was worse than the one I made 3 weeks ago. This sort of behavior continued through December, through January, all the way midway through February. Since I decided that I was gonna be productive, there was never a time period in my life where I was less productive than this time. But during February break, something changed that was gonna affect the rest of my year. I played a game called Europa Universalis for probably 20 hours over a 40-hour period. After this, and feeling a little sick to my stomach and guilty about how I just wasted 20 hours of my life on a game like that, and then realizing how I hadn't done anything with my channel for the last 3 months, I decided that I was never gonna play video games ever again. Now, I've talked about it a couple of times, but usually this stuff just never works. Usually what happens is that you just go back to the thing you said you were gonna stop 5 days later. But then I didn't play any video games for the rest of February. And then March, then April, then May, then June, July, August, September, October, November, all the way till December 22nd. I took a 10-month hiatus from video games, where I might play on average 1 hour video games per month. And it changed me in quite a lot of ways. I had to fill up this time somehow, and there was 2 ways I did this. One way, very good use of my time, and the other one, arguably worse than video games. So I either filled up my time working on YouTube, or learning about YouTube, or just trying to get better at YouTube, or by doom scrolling on YouTube. Just spend 2 hours straight just watching random Europa Universalis videos. It wasn't that I stopped playing the game, it's kind of just like I experience other people playing the game. This would create a constant daily battle for me, where I'd be on my phone for 10 minutes watching these videos and think to myself, wow, I'm wasting time. And then there would be this ensuing battle where I would fight between either continuing watching the video because one video is not gonna hurt, or I'm like, if I just keep watching this video, I'm never gonna get off this couch. And this is when I started becoming a really big fan of scheduling. By scheduling, if I was wasting my time on the couch just watching YouTube, that'd be taking away from the tasks I assigned myself for that time. And if I finished what I was supposed to do faster than I planned for, then I could spend that time watching YouTube. There's a period of time where I made so many mistakes, learned a lot of hard lessons, and got to learn a lot about life that I still take advantage of today. Of course, this wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. During the summer months, I had quite a bit of a fiasco with my mother, which stopped me from being able to work on YouTube for about 2 months. I'll probably make that for a future video, however, because that's a 20-minute video in and of itself. But every couple of weeks, I get a strong urge to play video games. But then I just look at that streak on Steam and be like, wow, I haven't played a single video game since February 15th. Let me continue this. Or I play games with my friends, like Ark Survival Evolved. And before we started, I would make it very clear, hey guys, you're gonna be playing with a very inconsistent person. I'm gonna play a couple days for a lot of hours, and then you're not gonna hear from me again. We even had this whole inside joke about me, where there was one time where I said, hey yeah, I'll join you guys in a minute, I just have to get some water. And then I just ghosted them. I'm not gonna lie to you here, I've got nothing to sell, but this was definitely probably one of the better times of my life. Didn't really have any stress, anxiety, depression, or any sad feelings because I was just so happy with what I was accomplishing. Whenever I would get a sense of loneliness, because sometimes I would isolate myself from other people, I'd set up a time to go hang out with my friends, and we'd have like a 3-day streak of doing a whole bunch of stuff together. And then it'd be a really nice time, and then I'd have my little dosage of friends, and then I'd go back to working hard. But every good story can't stay that way, and about 3 months ago, I opened up a game called Europa Universalis that you've been hearing quite a lot. It's right up my alley. It's a strategy game where you have to think through a bunch of decisions, and you get to min-max every little thing, and I got hooked. I was watching a YouTube video about the game, about how this really popular mod that created a fantasy world called Ambinar got a whole new update. I was like, huh, I should try this out, it looks really fun. And then when I downloaded this mod and played my first country in the game, I knew that I just fell into one of my addiction cycles. For all of winter break, I'd probably say around 40% to 50% of my waking hours were spent playing this game. There'd be some days where I would go 8 hours a row playing this game. Unlike all those hours in the past where I'd spend time playing with my friends, I was just playing by myself. There was no socializing, there was no time with friends, it was just me being addicted to video games. I felt this pain in my stomach, which I knew was because all this time playing video games I could spend working. I would say, hey, I'm just gonna play this game for 1 hour to relax after coming back home from the gym, and then I'll get straight to work. I said that at 5 o'clock, and next thing you know, when I check the clock, it's 12 a.m. And I continued this throughout all of January. And I kept telling myself, Dylan, you gotta stop doing this. This is taking up so much of your time. You know you're doing the wrong thing. And long story short, I did something unimaginable. I deleted Steam from my computer. Now, when I was writing the script, it seemed more dramatic than that, but yeah, that was basically just how I fixed the problem. I just went to Steam, and I just deleted the whole library. And just to break this little timeline story I have going on, I re-downloaded Steam 2 days ago because I just want to play game of Risk with my friend, and now when I see Europa Universalis, I'm like, whatever, I don't gotta play it. So maybe if you're having like a video game addiction like that, it's a good idea to do. And after about 2 weeks of playing no video games, I got really sick. The doctor told me that I had a cold, which is just very bad compared to what colds usually are. And basically I was gonna have fever-like symptoms for a week. And they weren't kidding, I was having 103-degree fevers during this whole fiasco. And whenever I'm sick, and especially when I miss school because I'm sick, my mom gives me 2 options. Either gotta lay down in bed and try to get some rest, or I can sit at the couch and watch TV or play video games. And then I sat down on my Xbox and I decided I'd play a game I haven't played in a while, Stardew Valley. Over the week I was sick, I probably logged 20 hours of the game. I didn't really feel bad about these 20 hours because there's nothing else productive I could do anyways. But I did feel quite guilty about the 15 hours I've put in since that. Just 2 days ago, I spent 3 hours from 6 to 9 o'clock just playing the game. Could have been working. I am very behind schedule, but I just play video games. And just the guiltiness I felt afterwards was immense, because I know I have a small YouTube channel and I don't got time to waste, especially during February break, which is what we're on right now. I've got to make up for the time when I have trouble scheduling because I'm going to school. And worse yet, one of my videos that I think is one of my best videos is a video about how you should stop playing video games, or at most play an hour per day. And since I've uploaded that video, it's been my worst period of playing video games ever. Now, of course, this is a story for you to hear why playing video games is bad, and that guiltiness you're feeling is a good thing, and is a call out that you should be taking advantage of. But in many ways, this is a video for myself, to keep myself accountable to what I said is that at most I should play 1 hour of video games a day. Because one of the worst things I think YouTubers do nowadays is that they don't practice what they preach. In many ways, I think a lot of people that make like improvement videos, they just make it because they feel, oh, I just want to help other people, but then don't actually follow it themselves, and that's just hypocritical and not in good faith. I never wanted to do that, which is why I never made a video on how to meditate, because I don't meditate. Never made a video on how to get girls, because I don't get girls. Soon, hopefully, I'll be able to make that video though. I mean, come on, I'm 6'4", should be able to just say my height and I'll get a couple on the street, you know? Video games should be making you guilty because there's other things you could be doing with your time. Instead of spending your time with your friends behind different computer screens, be the guy that sets up things for your friends to do and creates experiences to remember. And spend the extra time you have driving towards the goals that you have. Because if you can't smell it in the air, our future, us people Gen Z, people 20 years or younger, we're gonna have a tough future ahead of us. And it doesn't seem like we have too much time to spare before everything goes to crap. And you know what? Catch me in my next video where I'm gonna talk about why it is that our future isn't so bright and what we can do about it. Thanks for listening. Oh my